And so we throw the gates open for business quizzing for the second time today. Welcome to BusinessLine Cerebration 2022, one of India's premier corporate quiz championship in its 19th edition overall, but in its very first hybrid edition, where the preliminaries and the regional finals take place in the cyberspace and the national final takes place in the meet space when we get together in Mumbai. And taking you through these phases, question by question, round by round, is me, Ajay Punya. A quick brief about the competition and what's at stake. In its preliminary rounds that lasted 10 days, over 6,000 corporate executive, business professionals, B-school students, and MBA aspirants participated from all across the country. The top performers from each of the 6 regions have been brought together in the regional final. We witnessed one regional final battle already from Chennai, and now we move to the left to the regional final for Bengaluru. A crucial commodity on the line are points. Accumulating points more than others leads you to the most coveted intellectual title and to prizes worth rupees 1.5 lakhs. This first prize of rupees 75,000, first runner-up gets rupees 50,000, and second runner-up prize of rupees 25,000. Delightful, is it not? So participants, whatever happens, you win today. Ensure that. Else, we hope you come back to fight another day, but they have to keep believing, believe in themselves, their abilities, their preparation, and who knows, maybe a bit or even buckets of luck will bless them. Bengaluru produced the national champion last year, who isn't here, incidentally, to defend the title, which means a new champion will rise. Playing as participant 1 had a forgettable outing in the regional round last year, but past is passé, is Sethu Madhavan from Capgemini. Then as participant number 2 is Anand Babu from EY. Moving on to participant number 3 is Krishnan Murlidhar from Alstom, India. As participant 4 is Aditya Morarka from Razorpay. Last year, our next participant could have sealed the deal on the last question, but he missed and the eventual winner hit. And so he comes back to forget the agony and write a new chapter for himself, is Ravi Shankar Saha from Capgemini. And finally, completing the lineup is Ajay Kumar from Mito Power. Five different organizations making up the Bengaluru regional round. And in a small matter of 4 rounds, our winner will be identified and an invitation to Mumbai for the national final will be handed out. We'll get there, we will. But after we hear from Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan, editor, BusinessLine, who'd like to address and welcome our participants and audience. Sir, please.
Hello, everyone. BusinessLine is back with the 19th edition of Cerebration Quiz, one of India's biggest corporate quiz championships. After the overwhelming response we got last year, this year has been even better. And we got excellent entries across our major cities. BusinessLine, as you know, is India's leading financial newspaper. It's known for its depth and its intellectual sharpness, which is reflected in the Cerebration Quiz. The Cerebration Quiz is open to business professionals, corporate executives, MBA aspirants, and students from India's top-notch B schools. The prelims received an overwhelming response of more than 6,000 participants taking the quiz, and out of which 6 individuals from each city of Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kochi, Mumbai, and New Delhi will now battle it out to qualify for the grand finale. The top 6 contestants from each city will compete in the virtual regional finals from July 31 to August 15th. Winners of the regional finals from 6 cities will battle it out for the coveted title at a in-person on-ground event in Mumbai. The winners will take home handsome prize money worth up to 1.5 lakhs. And apart from, of course, the recognition of being Cerebration winners of the BusinessLine quiz. I wish you all the very best and look forward to seeing the participants in the rounds that happens in the cities. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. I wouldn't be performing my duty fully if I do not acknowledge and express my gratitude to our partners who made the BusinessLine Cerebration 2022 possible. Our title sponsor, Union Bank of India, powered by Manage Engine, writing instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group, and associate sponsor, Grey On. Thank you to each one of you. And now I would request Shri Alok Kumar, Field General Manager, Union Bank of India, to take the stage and address our participants.
Good evening to all. Union Bank is proud to be associated with one of the most reputed business as well as newspaper magazine, Hindu, and we are proud to be a sponsor of this quiz competition. About Union Bank, we can proudly say that we are among the top nationalized bank with pan-India as well as presence in abroad as well. And we are pleased to share with you that we are a new age bank also, with all the new facilities, app-based banking, WhatsApp-based banking, super app like Union Next, where you can do all the transactions. So no need to visit our branch. You can get all the services over your mobile app, and you can use our missed call facility for any loan products also, whether it is loan for the entrepreneurs, loan for the business, loan for the retail. So I wish all the participants a huge success and shine in all sphere of life. And quiz, I also personally thank Hindu BusinessLine that these quizzes makes us more active, vibrant, and be aware of what is happening across the globe. So all the best from Union Bank of India, and I also urge upon from this forum that please be associated with Union Bank of India and avail our services and give your feedback also whenever your time permits. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, then, participants, hope those fingers have warmed up, because through the length of the quiz, you would be required to hit the buzzer. And of course, all those buzzer benefits will come with dreaded negatives. So do not let flamboyance on the buzzer lead to frustration on the scoreboard. Right, let's play. Let's begin with our first round, first of 4 rounds. Round 1 is called serious or joking. We will start with our first statement now. Please be ready with it. Remember, one final time, do not press the buzzer if you think that the given statement is serious. Only press the buzzer if you think it's a joke. All right, let's start. First one on your screen now. From the series of startups backed by this couple, including Big Basket, Bluestone, Fresh Menu, Hungerbox, and Homelane, Portia is the first to have filed for an IPO. All right, I'll wait 5 seconds, and then we'll move on to all the participants who hit the buzzer, and your time is up. So we have participants 5, 4, and 3 hitting the buzzer. So I'll ask participant 5, that's Ravi from Capgemini, why did you press the buzzer?
I think, okay, none of the backed ventures has gone for IPO. So,
None,
yeah.
Not even Portia. Okay,
Correct.
That's not the reason. I'll move on to the second participant. That's Aditya from Razorpay.
Yeah. So this is Meera and Krishnan Ganeshan, and I think so. Portia is not the first. It's Big Basket.
Big Basket is the first, not Portia. I'm afraid that's not the correct reason. So I'll move on to Krishnan. from Alstom.
Yeah, I think this is a joke, and I say that Portia is the wrong part, but I'm not sure what is the name of the first company to have filed an IPO. But
So
yeah, the
you
couple is
don't
correct.
have any reason, all right? But you still think that this statement is a joke. Let's take a look at the answer. The answer is true. So Portia happens to be the first one to have filed for an IPO amongst by all the companies that are backed by the couple K Ganesh and Meena Ganesh of Growth Story. So that means all three of you who pressed the buzzer do not get any points, but all three of you who did not press the buzzer, I'm guessing all of you did not press the buzzer because you thought that the statement was true. You were right about it. And as a result of which, Setu, as participant 1, you get 7 points. Then Anand Babu from Ernst & Young, you get 7 points as participant 2. And participant 6, that's Ajay Kumar, you get 7 points also. So Setu, Anand and Ajay, all three of you get 7 points each, while the others do not get anything. No matter what reason you would have given me, I would have still encouraged you to give me a reason, but I wouldn't have given you any points for that because you were completely on the wrong track. So that's 7 points to three of you, Setu, Anand and Ajay. We'll move on to our next question or next statement. In fact, here's number 2. Doritos was born in Disneyland. The first version was made from deep fried stale tortillas, slated to be thrown away at a Mexican restaurant on the property Casa de Fritos. 3 seconds remain. And your time's up. So it's 5, 4, 6, and 2 who've pressed the buzzer. Participants 1 and 3 haven't. So I'll ask Rabi again for being the first one on the buzzer. Why did you press the buzzer?
I think this is false because the original restaurant is not named as Casa de Fritos. It was something else. So
Something
I can't
else, but
recall.
not
Yeah.
Casa de Fritos. Okay. Can't be giving points for something else. So I'll move on to Aditya.
Yeah. So the story is true, but it wasn't born in Disneyland. It was a Lay's employee who said that, hey, I'm assuming it's not Disneyland, but it would be Frito-Lay's.
Okay, that's not the reason, Aditya. I'll move on to Ajay.
I don't have the exact correct answer, but I feel this is wrong. The
Or
statement.
you feel that this is wrong? Let's take a look at the answer. The answer is true. That's where Doritos was born. So again, whatever reasons you were giving were good stories because they wouldn't get you points, but nice to hear whatever creative reasoning you can come up with. So which means only Setu as participant 1 and Krishnan. Yeah, so Setu and Krishnan, both of you did not press the buzzer, which is great. Well done. I give you 8 points each for that. Right, so 8 points to both Setu as well as Krishnan. And the others do not get anything. No negatives either. I'm nice like that. We'll move on to the next one. Here's number 3. During the hyperinflationary period of the 2000s in Zimbabwe, they call their dollar Ferrari because it was red and it vanishes. Five seconds. All right, time's up. We have only 3 of you hitting the buzzer. That's Rabi, Anand, and Krishnan. So I'll ask Rabi, what's your reason again?
I think it is a joke because they don't call it, can't call it Ferrari because Ferrari is the most expensive one, but their dollar was not. It will be something else.
Okay,
I can't exactly, yeah.
Wouldn't get you points, but I'll move on to Anand.
Looks like the reason does not fit with why it's called Ferrari.
But do you want to give another reason?
Oh, not sure about that.
No, no answer. So I'll move on to our next one on the buzzer, and that's Krishnan.
Yeah, I'm saying that saying that this is a joke, and the country I'm not saying it's Zimbabwe. Maybe it's some other country like Kenya.
You think it's Kenya and not Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's not the reason. The answer that I was looking for is Also true. So this was indeed true, which means 1, 4, and 6. So that is Setu, 3 of you giving a correct answer by not hitting the buzzer. So that's Setu, you get 7 points. Aditya, you get 7 points, and Ajay, you get 7 points also. This question was brought to you by our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. And we will now move on to our next question. That's number 4. India got its first unicorn in 2011 when Flipkart entered the club with over $1 billion valuation. And your time is up. We have 5, 3, 4, and 2 hitting the buzzer. So it's Rabi again. It's been very active on the buzzer. So Rabi, what's your answer this time?
I think it's a joke because the year should not be 2011. Year would be something around when the funding started coming. So 2013 or 14. Something you change.
Okay, you have to pick one thing. Can't
okay, 2011. I will replace it with the 2014.
2014. Okay, that's not correct. I'll move on to Krishna.
Yeah, I think this is a joke, and the wrong part is the year. I'm saying it's 2012.
2012 and not 11. That's incorrect. To Aditya.
Yeah, so the year is correct, but the company is wrong. It's not Flipkart. It was InMobi, which was India's first unicorn.
All right. So those are the 3 answers. I can't move on to the next one, although Anand was the one after, but only 3 would be allowed. The answer that I was looking for, finally, you're all correct about saying false. And the reasoning, the correct reasoning was given by Aditya. That's well done. All 4 of you, Rabi, Krishnan, Aditya, and Anand, all 4 of you get 6 points each. But on top of that, Aditya, for giving me the correct reason, it wasn't the year that was wrong. It was the company that was wrong. And the first Indian unicorn was not Flipkart, but InMobi. So that's 6 plus 5, 11 to Aditya. That's well done. And 6 to Rabi, 6 to Krishnan, 6 to Anand, 11 to Aditya. With that, we move on to our final statement of this round. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, among the world's largest associations of technical professionals, presents the IEEE awards every year. One of these, first awarded in 1975, is given for outstanding contributions to the generation and utilization of electric power and is called the IEEE Thomas Edison Award. Five seconds remain. And your time is up. It's 5, 3, 6, and 2 in that order. So yet again, Rabi's been the only one hitting the buzzer the very first time on all the questions. Rabi, what's your reason this time?
So I think, okay, this is false because the award is not called Thomas Edison Award. It is rather called Westinghouse Award.
George it's not Thomas Edison, but it's the
Westinghouse. Yeah.
All right, that's not the reason. I'll move on to Krishnan.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a joke, and I'm agreeing with the name of the award, but I'm saying that the year is wrong. I'm not sure about the year, but I think it's maybe a bit earlier.
Pick a year at least, because maybe a bit earlier won't get you bonus.
Okay, I'm saying 1969. Yeah.
1969. Back in the summer of 69. All right. To our next one, that's Ajay.
I would replace the Thomas Edison with Nikola Tesla.
That is indeed correct. That's the answer, not Westinghouse, but Nikola Tesla. Absolutely. That's well done. But 4 of you giving it correct. So all 4 of you press the buzzer. That's Rabi, Krishnan, Ajay, and Anand. All 4 of you securing 6 points each. But Ajay, for giving me the correct answer, for the correct reasoning, you get a bonus 5. So that's 11 to Ajay. While Rabi, Krishnan, and Anand, all 3 of you get 6 points each. And this question was brought to you by our sponsor, Manage Engine. And so it ends round 1, some distribution of points all around, which is, good, for it will keep you in good stead for the half chances that you may need to take as the quiz will hop, skip, and jump from one round to the next. We will take a look at the scores, but on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. We've just got done with round 1 here at Bengaluru Regional Final. As you can see, we have a very closely bunched together participants after the end of round 1, but currently leading with a score of 25 is Ajay Kumar from Mito Power, who's closely followed by Setu Madhavan from Capgemini at 22. And then just a couple of points behind is Krishnan Murlidhar from Alstom India at 20. So 1 point behind him is Anand Babu at 19 from EY. And another 1 point behind is Aditya Morarka from Razorpay at 18. And then about 6 points behind at 12 is Ravi Shankar Saha, who was very active. In fact, the most active on the buzzer, but not every time did he get it correct. He is at 12. All right, then that's how we finish round 1. And that's how we will progress to round number 2, which is where we headed. And it's called paired impaired. In this round, I'll be asking 6 questions, 1 direct to each of the participants. Ajay, give me an answer if you want to. You can say pass. Setu, accept or reject if you want to. You can say pass. All right, here's my question. This is a recently created petition by a photographer that has gone viral. Incidentally, it came a few days before the Instagram CEO confirmed that they are testing updates that prioritize short form videos from people you don't follow. And he said, the CEO said, I do believe that more and more of Instagram is going to become video over time. That's what he said. My question is, what does the petition want Instagram to become? It says, make Instagram blank again. Just tell me what's behind that red box that I've hidden. 4 seconds. Ajay, I need an answer. You can say pass if you don't like.
Pass.
Passing. Setu, do you have an answer?
I'll just guess TikTok.
You'll guess and you'll say TikTok. I'm afraid, Setu, that's a -5 to you. Question passes on the buzzer to Aditya.
So this is that entire thing. What's happening is Instagram has become more TikTok, where they are prioritizing
Hold
short
on,
video
Aditya,
over.
just tell me what's behind the blank. You can give me an explanation later.
I'm guessing the blank is friendly, and it's taking a dig that you see
That
a
is
lot of
incorrect. -5. I'll move on to the next one. That's Krishnan.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just make Instagram again.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is make Instagram again. That's very well done, Krishnan. In fact, a lot of Insta biggies like Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian, have also supported this campaign. They've re-shared it, re-Instagrammed it, whatever it is that they say on Instagram. They've done that, made it more popular through their respective accounts. So this is what the campaign is about. And so the argument is essentially that Instagram is becoming more TikTokish, becoming more videos. But originally, when Instagram started out, it was essentially a photograph application, right? So, but it's moving towards the direction of videos, which is what all these people who are supporting the campaign don't quite like. So that's the idea in this in this campaign. So that's a -5, unfortunately, to Setu, -5 to Aditya. But well done, Krishnan. That's a +5 to you. All right, we'll move on to the next one. This time, Setu, you're the direct participant. Right? You can still keep your phones away. For you, it's for +10, -5. And then Ajay, you have to accept, reject, or pass whatever Setu says. All right, Setu, here is my question. On one hand, it has been described as becoming a lot like hydrogen fuel cells for passenger cars. They're automotive ideas that are never quite born, but just won't die. Its troubled history began with the most spectacularly failed technology startup of the 21st century, Better Place. But on the other hand, are its latest proponents like China's NIO and Silicon Valley's Ample. My question is, what technology is this that even Tesla gave up on last year? Setu, please unmute.
I'll pass.
You'll pass. Passing it to Ajay. Ajay, do you have an answer of your own?
No, I pass.
You'll pass it as well. There's nobody on the buzzer, but does somebody want to take it non-comp? Not for points. Krishnan, too late on the buzzer, but you can give an answer. I won't give you points though.
I'm saying it's like the battery pack replacement kind of thing where you can plug
Is correct. This is battery swapping, right? So this is battery swapping. an idea, as some commentators say that, it's just something that it's an idea that is never quite born, but just doesn't die. And even Tesla tried it out. They tried it out for about 7-8 years till they, I think, got rid of it last year. So it's battery swapping as a technology doesn't quite work with bigger vehicles. It's perhaps okay with smaller two-wheelers, but not quite with bigger vehicles. That's the idea that's promoted. It's not, don't at me, don't quote me, but that's just something that I read from various commentators. No points to anyone on this one. We'll move on to our second pair, and that will be Krishnan goes first, and Anand, you're paired with Krishnan. Okay, please unmute Krishnan and Anand while others on the buzzer. Okay, Krishnan, here is your question. The Blank Blank trilogy, 2 words, is probably the only major work of non-fiction from India that traces the history of money from the times of Robinson Crusoe to the cryptocurrency phenomenon today and explains the fundamental issue behind the global financial crisis. Authored by Vivek Kaul, what is the trilogy title? 2 words. Krishnan, I need an answer.
Can I answer now? It's I'm saying
yeah,
easy
I was
money.
waiting for you to answer.
Okay, easy money.
Your answer is easy money. Passes to Anand Babu. Accept, reject, pass.
I'll accept it.
You will accept it, and you will accept it well, because this is the easy money trilogy. That's well done, Krishnan. If you know the answer, you don't really have to wait for so long. Or if that was a strategy to confuse Anand, then that's a different story altogether. But clearly he wasn't confused. He did accept your answer. So that is indeed correct, Krishnan. That's 10 points to you. And Anand, that's a +5 for accepting the right answer. This question was brought to you by our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. We will now move on to our next question. That's a direct for Anand. Anand, you're the direct participant. And Krishnan, you'll be paired with Anand. So whatever he says, you can accept, reject, or pass. Anand, here is my question for you. There are multiple versions for the origin of what product that has seen a sharp increase in usage over the past couple of years. One version leads to a Californian student combining alcohol and gel for use by doctors. Another one leads to a German company, Hartmann, from 1965. And one more that goes back to the 1940s by a husband-wife founded company, Gojo. Anand, do you have an answer? 3 seconds.
I'll go with margarine.
Margarine, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Passes to Krishnan.
Okay, I think I might disagree with this one, and
okay, so you're rejecting it.
Yeah.
Are you giving an answer of your own?
Okay, I'm just guessing it could be hand sanitizers, because it's in the, we're talking about this everywhere, of late. So
okay, so you reject and you say hand sanitizer. That is indeed correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. That's well done, Krishnan. Anand, unfortunately, that's a -5 for a wrong answer. And Krishnan, well done. That's 10 points to you for rejecting that answer and giving an answer of your own. And that was indeed correct. So 10 points, Krishnan, -5, Anand. And this question was brought to you by our associate sponsor, Grey On. We will now move on to our final pair, and that will be Aditya and Rabi in that order. So Aditya, you're the first direct participant, and Rabi, you're the paired participant. So whatever he says, you can accept, reject, or pass. Aditya, if you can please unmute. Here's my question, Aditya. Others on the buzzer. In 1985, a team at the Science Museum in London set out to build an automatic mechanical calculator to tabulate polynomial functions based on whose drawings, since he himself was unable to complete it due to lack of funding. The 8,000 part machine was slated to complete in 1991 on the occasion of his bicentennial birthday, but was finally completed in 2002.
Pass on this one.
You will pass. Ravi, do you have an answer of your own?
Yeah, I will try it out. So
Sure, plus
I'll-
10, minus 5.
Yeah, I will say it Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci, I'm afraid that's incorrect. That's a minus 5, Ravi. Question passes on the buzzer to Anand for plus 5, minus 5.
Based on the clues, I would say Blaise Pascal.
Blaise Pascal, I'm afraid that is incorrect. Also, that's a minus 5. Anand, does somebody else want to take a guess? Not for points. Bicentennial birthday, 1991.
Is it Charles Babbage?
Is correct. You were right on your second guess. This was Charles Babbage. Absolutely. It was the difference engine that led to the analytical engine that's said to be the world's first computer. And this was brought to this question was brought to you by our partner, Manage Engine. Right, so that's minus 5 to Ravi on this question and minus 5 to Anand on this question as well. All right. We will now move on to our final question now. That's a direct for Ravi and Aditya. You have to listen to his answer and then decide what you want to do. Here is my question, Ravi. A railroad company accountant found that monthly accounting was greatly complicated by the fact that months did not divide evenly into weeks. So he created an international fixed calendar that was adopted by George Eastman for Kodak and was used for 60 years till 1989, thus called the Eastman Plan. My question is, how were the days and months divided in the calendar?
I will pass it.
You will pass. Aditya, do you have an answer? Plus 10,
Pass.
minus 5? No answer.
I'll pass.
Both of you not trying to answer this question. I will close it. Nobody on the buzzer either, but should you want to take a guess for no points? Anyone? No? So the question says, how are the days and months divided in the calendar year? Right now, they're not pretty evenly divided. So the 4 weeks plus loose change days, right? So to bring that in a more wholesome roundish figure, he divided it into 13 months of periods of 28 days. So which makes it 364. So so that's what he did. So that's how he divided, so that it was easier to have proper periods. And that's how salary was distributed. That's how total work was calculated and all of that. No points to anyone. Nobody took any chances or guesses on this one. That brings us to the end of halfway into the quiz. 2 rounds are done. We will quickly move on to our third round, which is where we headed now. It's called Challengers Deep. There's one question to each participant. Setu, my question for you is, in the 1950s, Parker Pens designed a series of atomic pens that never really went into commercial production, but were still heavily advertised as pens of today and tomorrow, since they featured in which film a decade later? That's first part. Second part, and what quality did it have that was put together in a tiny packet inside the pen, which would heat the ink to produce a selectable range of line densities? Which film did it feature in? Did these pens feature in? And what quality did the pen have, which would heat the ink to produce a selectable range of line densities? There's nobody challenging you. So Setu, you can give me an answer without the fear of negatives. And nobody on the buzzer either. I need an answer, Setu. No answer coming. So I'll close this. The answer that I was looking for was, the film was 2001, A Space Odyssey from 1968. And they were radioactive pens. So there were tiny little radioactive elements inside the pen, which would heat the ink and produce a range of line densities for people to write with. And they actually also spoke about it when marketed about it when the film was released. This question was brought to you by Parker Pen, our writing instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group. We will now move on to our next participant. That's number 2, and that is Anand. Anand from EY.
Yes.
Okay, Anand, here's my question. The city that is said to have been a home for this industry for over 5,000 years specializes in 6 varieties: Rose, Hina, Shamam, Mogra, Bela, and Mitti. The Deg Babkas used in the making of these varieties use the designs from Indus Valley civilization. Which city and what product that has received GI tag is this? There is a challenge coming, and that's from Rabi. So what do you want to do, Anand?
I'll let him answer.
Rabi, what's your answer?
The product is ether.
Is what?
Ether, ITTAR, ether.
Okay, and city?
City, I will say Allahabad.
Is incorrect. That's a -5. Question goes back to Anand.
So, yeah, I'll say Ittar and Meerut.
Is incorrect, but no negatives. Question passes on the buzzer to Ajay.
I would say it's Kannauj and Ether.
Is perfect. That's the answer that I was looking for. Absolutely. This is Kannauj and Ittar or perfumes. One and the same thing. That's very good answer, Ajay. That's 5 points to you. Rabi, however, that's a -5, and Anand, well done on rejecting and then took a guess, but that wasn't correct. This question was brought to you by our associate sponsor, Grey On. All right, well done. To Ajay, 5 points to you, -5 to Rabi. We'll move on to our next participant. That's Krishnan. Okay, here's my question, others on the buzzer. The first use of this item was in the 1870s, the first choice of which was a Chinese instrument. But in 1903, when the institution moved to its current location, the Chinese version was replaced by one made of brass. When they wanted to get a new one made because the older one was too loud, they found a company called G.S. Edwards from Connecticut. The company agreed to manufacture the new one and match it to the ones already available, for which they had to in fact bring people out of retirement. My question is, what item and where is it used? There is a challenge coming, and that's coming from Setu. Krishnan, what do you want to do?
I'll let him answer.
All right, Setu, what's the answer?
This is the, I'm just guessing, this is the NYSE bell. So it was Edward Signaling which manufactured the NYSE bell. I think that's the answer.
All right, the NYSE bell is absolutely perfect. That's the answer that I was looking for. That's well done, Setu. A +10 to you on that one on the challenge. And this question was brought to you by our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. Very good answer. I'm sure they'll be really happy to see you cracking this one. It's 10 points to you. Very good. Next question will be a direct one to Aditya. All right, Aditya, here is my question to you. In the 2021 D&I index by Refinitiv that ranks over 11,000 companies globally, Gap Inc. was ranked #1 with 25 American companies being represented in the top 100. D&I in the workforce is the key to ensuring that companies remain competitive and meet the changing needs of their customers. Please tell me what are D&I? You have a challenge coming from Anand from EY. What do you want to do, Aditya?
I'll reject the challenge. I'll try to answer this one.
Okay, that means you're accepting the challenge and you will answer. Okay, Aditya, what is your answer? +10, -5.
D&I, I'm guessing diversity and inclusion.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is indeed diversity and inclusion. That's absolutely well done. Well done on accepting the challenge. Also gets you a +10. That's very good. Okay, 2 more questions to go. Next one will be for Rabi. Others on the buzzer. Here's my question, Rabi. In the 1960s, a company revealed one of the most dramatic tire developments in the history of the industry. Made of neothane, the tires were much easier to produce than traditional tires, and the fact that neothane was translucent allowed the company to offer vibrancy in the tires. But these tires skidded in wet weather and melted during heavy braking, so they weren't produced commercially. Which company, what innovation? Right. There's no challenge coming, Ravi, so you can give me an answer without the fear of negatives.
So I will say produce the traditional tires. I will say Goodyear is the company, and they are trying to produce tires with the plastics supplements and things.
I've already given you neothane. My question is, what was the innovation?
Innovations.
Already neothane
Innovation is the 3D, which is we currently know the 3D. You basically mold the product and
3D printed. All right.
Yeah.
No, that's not correct. I'll move it on to Krishnan for +5, -5.
Yeah, I'm saying Goodyear is only the company, and they're going with either maybe illuminated or irradiated tires, like the ones which maybe give out some light or something like that.
I'll give that to you. That is indeed correct. So they were colorful tires, and so what they were doing, they essentially placed illumination inside. So which is why they were translucent, and so you could have whatever color it is that you wanted with the tire. So it is Goodyear and colorful tires. That's well done, Krishnan. Good answer. +5 to you. That question was brought to you by our partners, Manage Engine. Good answer there. 5 points to Krishnan. We'll move on to our final question. That's to Ajay. Ajay, if you can please unmute. This is your direct question, others on the buzzer. Okay, here is my question. Since 2019, every time a certain studio releases films, the film, alongside a film director, not the film's director, but another director in general, starts trending. This happens since he wrote an opinion piece saying he didn't think of them as cinema. He said cinema is an art form that brings you the unexpected. In such movies, nothing is at risk. My question is, which director and which studio whose films have been called despicable by another director as well? You have a challenge coming from Aditya.
I will answer this question.
Okay.
I would say it's Martin Scorsese and Disney films.
Martin Scorsese and Disney films. That is not correct. I will pass it to Aditya on the buzzer for +10, -5.
So this is Martin Scorsese and Marvel movies, specifically Marvel or superhero movies.
Is
Marvel
correct, movies. Although Disney owns Marvel, but he wasn't talking about all of Disney's films. He was specifically talking about Marvel cinemas. That's the answer there. I'm sorry, Ajay, I can't give you points for that. In fact, I'll have to give you a negative because you decided to answer on the challenge. That's a -5 to Ajay, but a +10 to Aditya. That's well done. Can you also tell me who's the other director who called them despicable?
I'm assuming Tarantino.
Not Tarantino, but Coppola. But anyway, that wasn't part of the question. That was just an additional trivia. So that's Martin Scorsese and Marvel Cinema. So every time Marvel releases films, Scorsese starts trending as well. So good answer there, Aditya. That's 10 points to you. And Ajay, that's a -5 to you. Right, that brings us to the end of the third round as well. We saw the outpouring of emotions every time our participants gave correct answers or missed out on giving correct answers. That is really extraordinary. Heading into the final round, we will take a look at the scoreboard, but that's on the other side of this break. We will be back shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back to taking a look at the scoreboard before we head into the final round here at the Bengaluru Regional Final. At this point, we have Krishnan Murlidhar from Alstom India currently leading with a score of 50. He's built some advantage for himself because some distance away is Aditya Morarka from Razorpay at 33. Closely following him is Setu Madhavan from Capgemini at 27. Then is Ajay Kumar from Mito Power at 25. Following him is Anand Babu from EY at 14. And finally is Ravi Shankar Saha from Capgemini at 2. So those are the scores heading into the final round. And our final round is called Shootout. There will be 6 questions on the buzzer. You have 10 seconds of time per question. My first question for +4 and -5. In 2021, which company revealed a new logo as part of a campaign to promote on the buzzer is Ravi Shankar Saha.
I will say this is Mahindra for their SUV range.
Is incorrect. There were quite a few automakers who changed their logos. It wasn't Mahindra that I was looking for. So I'll move on. But already we have another person on the buzzer, and that's Krishnan. Krishnan, what's your answer?
I'm guessing it's General Motors.
You're guessing it's General Motors. My question is, as part of a campaign to promote its future electric vehicles, unlike its minimalist competitors, its new logo features a gradient of light blues that evokes the clean skies of zero emission future. Your answer is General Motors, and that is the answer that I was looking for. That's well done. That is indeed correct. So that's a +4 to you, Krishnan. Good answer. There were quite a few companies who changed their logos, quite a few automakers who changed their logos. Ravi picked one, that was incorrect. Krishnan picked one, that was correct. So he gets 4, Ravi gets a -5. We will move on to our next question now, also for 4 points. Here's my question. This brand started when a Gujarati entrepreneur returned from South Africa. Thanks to Ravi already on the buzzer. Yes, Ravi.
This is Wagbokri tea.
My question, thanks to a letter of credibility from Mahatma Gandhi, he took a loan to set up a tea depot in Ahmedabad to sell loose tea, only coming up with the brand name we know it by in 1934. Which brand that spreads the message of harmony through its packaging? Your answer is Wagbokri tea. That is indeed correct. Well done. Good answer there, Ravi. So +4 for you. Very good answer. And that question was brought to you by our writing instrument partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group. There's 4 more questions to go, but 2 more before we start eliminating participants. The next 2 will both be 7-pointer questions. Here's my third question, question number 3. This is the Daimler Victoria, launched in 1897. It was one of the first cars to be marketed specifically as a cab and the first one to be equipped with a then revolutionary technology that till date remains a bone of contention amongst regulators and operators. What technology? On the buzzer is Aditya from Razorpay.
Taking a guess, is it the first metered car or the metered cab, the taxi meters that you see?
Is correct. That's the answer. It is indeed taxi meter. Absolutely. Like I said, a bone of contention amongst regulators and operators. You always sort of struggle with the taxi meters and the way, both in terms of how the policy is created and in terms of how it is practiced. Right. So that's well done. 7 points to Aditya. Good answer there. The 3 more questions to go. After the next question, however, we'll start eliminating participants. Let's move on to our next one. Here's number 4. What connects these 3 Instagram influencers? That's Aditya again on the buzzer. Yes, Aditya.
So these are not real people. They are AI generated influencers.
All right, my question, what connects these 3 Instagram influencers from Britain, America, and India respectively? Your answer is they're not real people. They are AI generated or virtual influencers. That is absolutely perfect. That's well done. 2 back-to-back 7-pointers there by Aditya. There's Shudu, Lil Michaela, and Kyra. Kyra's from India, Shudu's from Britain, and Lil Michaela from the US. That's a good answer, Aditya. Back-to-back 7-pointers for you. Here's question number 5 for +10, -5. This is the Laffer curve illustrating the relationship between tax rate and revenue. It was given a derogatory definition as blank economics by George H.W. Bush while being critical of Ronald Reagan's economic policies of tax cuts, aka Reaganomics. On the buzzer is Aditya again.
Taking a wild guess, trickle-down economics?
Not trickle-down economics. I will continue with my question. Later, presidential candidate Ross Perot called trickle-down economics as blank economics too. What religious cult fills in the blanks? open on the buzzer for 5 more seconds. And we have Krishnan, who's gone for it on the buzzer. Yes, Krishnan.
I'm guessing Ku Klux Klan.
Is incorrect. So that's a -5 to you, Krishnan, and there's nobody else on the buzzer. The answer that I was looking for, this is voodoo economics, right? So this is voodoo economics. When Bush Senior then changed his stance, actually after being appointed vice president by Reagan. So when Reagan appointed him vice president, Bush Senior actually changed his stance, earlier criticizing his economics as voodoo economics. First denying that he called Reaganomics voodoo economics, and then claiming that he was kidding when actually there was footage that was dug up showing that he actually used the phrase, just politicians doing politician things. All right. Interestingly, with both the table toppers taking negatives means that the window of opportunity for others could have opened up, but unfortunately for them, the distance is a little too much. So I'll have to ask Setu from Capgemini to not be a part of the last question. I also have to ask Ajay to not be a part of the last question. So essentially, we're playing for the winner spot. That's between Aditya and Krishnan. The equation is very simple. Aditya, you have to go for it and get a right answer. Krishnan, if you don't get it and Aditya gets it, Aditya will qualify. But if Krishnan gets it, Krishnan will qualify anyway. All right. So it's a very simple equation there. All right. Essentially a battle between Aditya from Razorpay and Krishnan from Alstom India. My final question. 2022 marks the centenary year of confectionery product created by a company founded. All right. We already have Aditya on the buzzer.
Is this Reese's peanut butter cups? Wild guess. Had to do it.
Perhaps went a little too early, could have waited, but I'll continue. Everybody else, if you want to hit the buzzer on this, all 6 of you, you can go for it. 2022 marks the centenary year of confectionery product created by a company founded by this confectioner from Bonn in Germany. He originally, all right, we have Setu who's on the buzzer.
This is Hans Reber of Haribo.
Sorry, say that again.
Haribo, Hans.
Hans Riegel. Hans Riegel.
Hans Riegel. Yeah, Hans Riegel. Who founded
and what
Haribo.
would be the candy then?
The bear-shaped candy. Haribo.
My question. He originally gave them a name inspired by street performers of the same kind. After being rebranded multiple times, the current brand name was agreed upon in 1960. What gelatin-based candy is this? Your answer is Haribo and their gummies. That is indeed correct. Haribo calls them gold bears now, but originally they were dancing bears, and generally, other companies produce it also with the name gummy bears. That was the answer. Well done there, Setu. That's a +10 for you, right? Well done. Good answer there. And that is that. That's how it ends with a skirmish at the end. We will take a break now, but on the other side lies the final scoreboard and our winner. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The scoreboard for you. Look at that, how closely all these participants were bunched. But eventually we could only have one winner, but we'll get to him. For the moment, in 6th place is Ravi Shankar Saha with a score of 1 from Capgemini. Well done, Ravi, reaching the regional final. Unfortunately, wasn't to be your day. Then in 5th place, with a score of 14 points is Anand Babu from EY. Congratulations to Anand as well for reaching the regional final. And then in 4th place is Ajay Kumar from Mito Power with a score of 25. Congratulations, Ajay. And then, although the scores are tied, but just for the sake of order, because I had already eliminated Setu, but still I decided to give 10 points towards the end. I will still give, we did give 10 points to Setu, but just in case we need to break the ties or need to put them in correct order, Setu is 3rd with a score of 37. So congratulations there, Setu from Capgemini. But in second place, Aditya, who had to go for it on that last question, went for it. But with his reaction, I'm not too sure, but it seemed like he did actually know the answer. But in that moment of stress, he had to give something. He gave the wrong one, which meant he got a negative and he fell behind to 37. But nevertheless, well done, Aditya Morarka from Razorpay. You finished second, also with a score of 37. And finally, our winner for the day, fabulous performance there. Was in a bit of pressure, especially when Aditya decided to push the pedal to the metal. But since he had given himself a decent bit of cushion, he wasn't that worried. He was worried, but not too worried, which meant he prevailed eventually. Congratulations to Krishnan Murlidhar from Alstom, India, a winner from the Bengaluru regional round with a score of 49 points. Well done to you. A delightful display there, continuously producing answers every time when you were put in a spot. A powerful performance. Krishnan's our winner from the Bengaluru regional final. And well done to the rest of you. You can be proud of yourselves too. Being pitted against tough competitors, ultimately the class did shine through. And finally, a big thank you to all our sponsors, our title sponsor, Union Bank of India, powered by Manage Engine, writing instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group, and associate sponsor, Grey On.